But all right, let's. I guess we'll get on to my topic. As I normally do, pre GDQ. I want to talk about GDQ because it starts on Sunday or yesterday if you're listening to this on Monday, or the previous Sunday if you're listening to it on the Wednesday that this comes out on YouTube. For those who don't know, GDQ is the biggest speedrunning event in the world. They have two events, AGDQ in the winter and SGDQ in the summer. This is AGDQ. They raise money for Prevent Cancer Foundation during AGDQ. So that's what they're doing. I usually talk about and ask you guys what games you're going to watch, if any, and what you're excited to see. So I'm just looking over the schedule. I actually like it a lot. There's a lot of RPGs and longer speedruns on here. They've kind of in the past, they feel like they are able to raise more money, at least according to what people have said, with shorter games, just because there's more variety, keeps people interested and stuff. They usually put the longer games on overnight kind of stuff, but they don't often do a lot of them, other than like your big like Final Fantasy on the last day or something like that. But we got a lot of long games this year. And I kind of like the older ones. It harkens back to the old GDQ days, which I'm quite fond of. So, they're starting out with Hollow Knight, which is a good, cool speed run.
Yeah, that one will be pretty cool to watch.
Majora's Mask is always some people's favorite. It's in the past been done a lot on the 3DS, the 3D version. This is the Wii Virtual Console version for any percent. So I know that's a lot of people's favorite Zelda game. Those are probably the two I'm most excited for on the first day. Shadow of the Colossus should be pretty cool too.
Boss Rush.
Yeah. I've never actually seen a God of War speedrun. God of War 2 is after that. It'll probably be too late for me to stand up. The next day, let's see. There's a Monster World. I thought that was Monster Hunter for a second.
Nope. There's a Splatoon 2 Octo expansion one on the second day.
Which that'll be good.
I will like to watch.
Looks like Castlevania block is on the second day. Soten is up first. Aria of Sorrow is one of my favorite speedruns for Castlevania. Castlevania 2 is on there. Even Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is going to be on there.
Yeah.
Which I have not seen a speedrun of. I'm excited for that. A lot of people were probably excited for Jackson Crash Bandicoot too. Like
I was going to say, I'm interested in the Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. The heyday for PS2 platforming. Also, Tropical Freeze is a really good speed run. That's before that. Any percent. This looks like a three-way race to me. I don't imagine that they'd be switching off in this game. It's any percent no death abuse. That's the Switch version, which I think is the first time it will be at a GDQ.
They got a Nier Automata.
Yeah.
At 3:40 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So.
They ran this a few years ago. It was the opening, and this must be a different category because I don't remember that one being 4 hours long, 4.5 hours long estimate.
Yeah, it may have just
2.
been like through the. It might just have been the first character's story or something.
Yeah.
This one is the true ending, they call it. It's the final chapter. Like if you think about the different endings as chapters, E is the final one you gotta get through.
It looks like the Sonic block is that day.
What is Sonic Ball?
I think that's a meme game. I'm not sure. It's got to be a meme game. It looks like they got more 3D Sonics in.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's a meme game. It's probably going to get a lot of money. The meme games usually do. Looks like it's some kind of racing game, I'm guessing, based on all laps category. So yeah, that's happening. We got a small Mario block, Mario Kart 64. Super Mario Bros. 3 mix. That must be a ROM hack. And Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars after that, which is one of those longer games. In the past, it's actually closed out at least one marathon. It's usually a final day game. Any percent. Good to see that back. It's a pretty cool, interesting speed run. It's interesting because a lot of it's based on making sure you get the correct timings down. It's not just like menuing and movement. There's some actual technical stuff to it. For no one who's seen Tony Hawk runs, those are actually kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah?
The next day after that, it's graveyard, 4 a.m., but you can always catch like VODs later. Tony Hawk Pro Skater runs are really good. Actually, they're really quick paced.
Yeah, I would expect them. They'd have to be pretty technical.
Yeah. I always like the Halo runs. Halo Reaches that day. I don't think I've ever seen that game being sped run before. Twilight Princess All Dungeons. I love watching Twilight Princess runs. Yeah, 4 hours.
Which in the middle of the day too, like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
In the afternoon. That's pretty impressive, I guess.
Leading into the Mega Man block, which starts off strong with the Mega Man X 1 through 3 3-team relay race.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, that I'm interested in, definitely.
Yeah, that's gonna raise a lot of money. I believe they did a Mega Man relay race in the past through a few of the classic games, the NES ones, but I don't think they've done an X race like that before. So that's awesome.
I love any of the interesting runs like that, like team based or competition style runs. Those are always my favorites.
Yeah, those are fun. Mega Man DOS. I don't know. I didn't know there was a DOS version of Mega Man.
Well, I mean, must have been probably.
Oh my god, this looks awful. It's got characters I've never heard of.
Wow, it's a real game.
Yeah, okay. I want to watch that, but it's at 12:30.
It's got people in it. It looks like.
Oh my god, they got some funny meme games. Oh my gosh. Looks like we got a small Metal Gear block the next day. I'm not big into Metal Gear speedrunnings or speedruns.
Can't say I've ever watched one. There's gonna be a Dead Cells speedrun on Thursday. It's got 3 people listed. I'm curious why. Like, let's see. Maybe it's a stretch goal.
Yeah, I don't know. This looks like a lot of indie. This might be the indie block day.
Yeah, Crypt of the Nectar Dancer is really good.
The Messenger. I think Chex Quest is an indie game.
Celeste.
Looks like we got the Bethesda block too.
Oh yeah.
2 Doom games. Prey. Prey was Bethesda, right?
Oh.
Dishonored.
No.
Oh, it's the new DLC. I was like, that's a long time for Prey.
Yeah, considering the speedrun was like 12 minutes.
But it's the new DLC speedrun, I guess.
We also get...
Prey is Bethesda publisher, not developer.
Gotcha.
Same as Dishonored.
Late that night is Wind Waker HD 100%. They're doing a lot of 3D Zeldas. So we get the Majora's Mask, Wind Waker HD, and Twilight Princess. Wind Waker HD is a really fun run to watch too. I considered at one point learning that game, but it's got hard tricks I don't want to learn how to do. Right at the beginning of the game, there's something called like backward super swimming or something like that. You don't use the boat in the game. You glitch yourself, and you have to do a series of like frame perfect inputs for like I think 3 minutes straight, and it just shoots you across the sea, lets you skip a bunch of stuff. You can pause buffer it and do it pretty reliably, which is I'm sure what they'll do, but still.
Yeah.
Next day, Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah, it's only 27 minutes.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Those computer games, they usually tear through.
Right.
A lot of those CRPG. Did you see the a few years ago they had one of the Baldur's Gate games. It was pretty ridiculous what they did in that
I
game.
didn't see that one.
Pokemon Gold race is going to be good. It's going to come down to who hits Manips, but those races are always good.
The next one, Final Fantasy IV, it's a league match flags.
Yeah, I don't know what this category is.
Yeah. I don't know what Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise is.
It's a
it's a ROM hack.
It's a ROM hack according to Kotaku. It turns the game into an open world RPG. Okay, I want to watch this because I don't. I'm interested in this now. Like the concept of making that a open world game,
right?
Is crazy. Then we get the task block, which people love, just because it does dumb
it just
stuff
shows
to the
off
games.
crazy stuff.
Super Mario Sunshine is a beloved speedrun game. It looks like we're having a 1v1 lockout bingo race. They've been doing a lot more. I think they did bingo and SGDQ, but it wasn't a race, if I remember correctly.
Which one is the bingo?
Super Mario Sunshine.
Sorry, I mean, what is that?
Okay, so lockout bingo 1v1. Basically, they get a bingo card. Everyone sees the same one. They see it at the same exact time. They don't know what's on it ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
And they basically have to get a bingo by doing certain objectives. And when you lock out, if you get the square, then you cut it off from your opponent. So a lot of the strategies, like going after like what bingos what's like easiest to do, that kind of stuff. Then after that, the run I'm hot for, and thank God it's on Friday night. Final Fantasy 9, 80%, PSX version, not the PS or the PC release with the mods. It's like I think like 3 hours faster. 9.5 hour estimate. This game hasn't been done since I think 2013 or 2014. And they got 3 people doing it, so one will do like one disc. They're splitting it into thirds essentially. So it's actually a pretty good speed run. It's just really long. Puyo Puyo Tetris. People love Tetris speedruns too. I'm curious how Puyo Puyo work.
They usually have like a Tetris like match like between a bunch of people, but it doesn't look like they're doing that in this one.
No. A Link to the Past is always a big one. I'm surprised they're not doing this as a race category. It's low percent one-hit kill, but maybe it's because it's one-hit kill. They usually do Link to the Past races. Like they had the randomizer, I think at last AGDQ was really popular. It's in the same vein as like bingo races. They're like stepping outside of the more traditional categories like any percent or all boss percents or 100%, that kind of stuff.
I like that.
I do too. It's more variety. It's not just seeing this. If you're going to have the same games every year, you kind of like at some point have to mix it up somehow.
Yeah,
and that's a good way to do it. Like you were saying, Dark Souls 3 all bosses. I think this was in SGDQ 2017.
That one is a lot more of a specific time. It goes down to the 30 seconds, whereas all the others is...
Yeah, that's weird. I bet
1 hour 57
I bet that's a typo.
Yeah.
I bet that's like the guy's like PV or something.
Maybe.
But I love Soulsborne speedruns, especially all boss categories, like the best ones in my opinion. Because you don't just watch them run through the levels; you actually get to see them do more fights.
Yeah.
Some games I don't know: Quickie World and Super Gracie World. These must be pretty cool speedruns to be on the last day, right before prime time.
Super Gracie World at least is a Mario hack, so
okay, well that explains it.
They're probably both Mario ROM hacks.
Yeah,
it goes into Mario Odyssey.
Yep. Then you got Super Mario Odyssey, which is a really popular speed game. This is one of the longer categories for it, Darker Side, where I think it's like the closest to 100% without being get all 900 something moons, which is ridiculous.
Goodness, right.
It's basically like the actual closest to 100% that people will actually run, and because you do all the post game stuff. And Super Metroid Reverse Boss Order to finish off the marathon. Was it last SGDQ or AGDQ where there actually was no Super Metroid, which had never happened before?
I feel like it was at least 2 of them ago.
Yeah. Which is save versus kill the animals is always a big donation bid war.
Yeah, they tried something different.
Yeah. And
which is fair.
I don't think they've ever ended with Super Metroid either. If they did, it's been the old days. And I don't think they've ever done reverse boss order either. I could be wrong there too, though. But pretty traditional ending. A really big Super Mario game, 3D Mario game. They often do one of those, like 64 or something. I think they had Odyssey last one too as a bonus incentive, and this isn't still all the bonus incentives. We could still get some other cool games in. So I forgot a lot of what was on here until earlier, and I'm really excited to to watch it.
Yeah, seems like it'll be a cool run.
I love watching it every year. I usually keep it on background at work and try to catch what little bits I can whenever I'm not busy. So I look forward to it every year. This one looks to be pretty good. I'm glad to see some of the longer games get some love again. I think this is like probably the lowest amount of games they've had in a while per different title, just because of the length of some of these. Like, I don't think they've had a 9.5 hour run in at least 3 years.
That'll be something.
Now they just need to bring Final Fantasy VIII back. I think it hasn't been in one since like SGDQ 2012. It was like the second GDQ. So, really excited. Lots of good stuff on here. And that'll be a majority of my week next week. So yeah, check it out. If you've never watched it, it's always fun, especially if you're new to GDQs. It's great, or speedrunning in general. It's crazy to see what people can do with some of these games. Especially just the ones that are just so broken that you can just do crazy stuff with glitches. Those are always really fun too. Yep. All right. This has been episode 72 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud, and topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Check us out on Twitter, Podcast5R, Facebook, P5R Podcast, Meta and Lily stream at twitch.tv/PSOFlow. They still playing World of Final Fantasy? I'm sure they've been off a little bit.
I think they've been off since like Christmas, basically.
I need to get that too. That's like one that's been on the very bottom of my backlog that I just haven't even bought yet. I've been kind of waiting for like till I catch it on sale. I caught it like a few times, but just haven't pulled the trigger. But I do want to eventually play that because I haven't watched any of it, and I'm kind of a sucker for some fan servicey kind of games like that.
Yeah,
but
it's real cute.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's get out of here, and I guess we'll see you guys next week. Until then,
later.
Bye.
Bye.